The metro station smelled like lilies. Under my feet, the gray floor was smooth and solid. Old elevator music was playing behind me. Something about this place was so nostalgic that I wanted to cry. In an attempt to soothe myself, I closed my eyes, then focused on my chest. Nothing was beating. I held my breath, just to discover I was not breathing in the first place, and nor did I feel the need to. I stood there, quietly accepting my predicament as fact, when the metro arrived. The faceless, nameless figures around me stepped onto the train. None of the train's passengers got off. A quiet voice asked, "Are you ready?" Next to me, there was a faint, floating light. Almost as if it were by instinct, I knew the voice was directed towards me. Despite knowing that the voice was referring to the train, I replied, "Ready for?" The train doors closed, and the train left. I could have stepped onto it if I wanted to. There's always the next one. The benches on the platform were empty, so I took a seat. The light drifted across my trail. "Where am I?" I asked. The light shimmered as it spoke. "This is the beginning of the end." What I was reluctant to accept had been enunciated. My life had ended. This was not what seemed to be an afterlife, but nevertheless, the next step. "And who are you?" "You may call me the conductor. Are you here to judge me?" "Good or evil, every soul must move on. Good or evil, some souls do not." "Then why are you here?" "You know, and yet you ask." Another train arrived at the platform. I stayed seated. The light had no eyes, but I felt like it was observing me. Once the train doors closed, the light floated into my head, and my vision blurred. The metro station was no more. It smelled like a hospital room, and everything was massive. A big, warm presence was cuddling me as I wailed. My vision blurred again. This time, I was holding my baby brother, and he was clinging onto me as I fed him. I wanted to reach out to him and stroke his head, tell him he would grow up to be a fine young man, but my hands wouldn't move the way I wanted them to. My vision blurred again. The conductor's voice echoed in my head. "You are dead. Thus you cannot ask for more. All you can do is say, 'That was nice.'" I once read a comic that said one's life flashes before their eyes when facing death to find a way to survive. But I was already dead. Perhaps my life was flashing before my eyes to give me a chance to validate it. I was seeing the first time I ever gave a girl flowers on Valentine's Day. I'd handed her a single red rose outside her classroom. My memories don't show her face the moment I handed them to her. If only I had looked for a second longer. But I'd caught a glimpse of her beaming at me. "You loved." My vision blurred, but the girl stayed in front of me. The girl who had received the rose had grown up. Although her hair had become longer, the shape of her eyes as they looked at me never changed. It was February 29th, 2016, and she was on her knees, showing me a ring. I took her hand. "And you were loved." My vision blurred, and I was lying quietly on a bed, but the sensation on my hand was the same. My vision was already fading again. A voice, shaking but trying to sound strong, entirely different from the conductor's smooth tone, told me like I meant everything in the world to her. "Thank you for being part of my life." And then everything became white. There was nothing at all, except the conductor right in front of me. "Are you satisfied?" I couldn't open my mouth, even if I wanted to, but somehow I nodded. Slowly, the smell of lilies returned, and the platform filled out my field of vision once more. Again, a train arrived at the platform. "Are you ready?" The conductor was no longer anywhere to be seen. My lip quivered, my legs shook, and I declared, "Why would I be?" Onto the train I stepped.